Okay, so yesterday we have done up to question number 5 of mass, weight, and density. Next, question number 6. Ji Abdullah, पढ़ें.
जी सर figure shows a boy moving a water container in a wheelbarrow. इसे नीचे
Okay,
करेंगे मैं बुक
so
खोलता हूँ मैंने
this one.
हाँ जी the container has a volume of 0.15 meter cube and is filled with water of density this. Calculate the mass of water in the container when it is full. So density is equal to m over v.
Density equals.
Dense 1000 multiplied by 0.15.
2 मिनट में एक बच्चे को लिंक सेंड कर दूँ.
So 150 answer.
Okay, just 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
जी, आपने क्या किया है? Density equals mass over volume. So here you have density equals mass over volume. So we have to find out the value of mass. So mass equals density multiplied by volume. Density is already given. Multiply by 0.15. So the answer is
150.
150. So 150 kg is the answer. यहाँ तक देखें कोई confusion? Next part पढ़ें.
Next कह रहा है it is harder to stop the wheelbarrow when the container is full than when it is empty. Explain this. सर जब इसमें inertia के बारे में बताएंगे.
इसमें हम क्या बताएंगे? It is
Inertia.
It is harder to stop the wheelbarrow when the container is full than when it is empty. Explain. हाँ, inertia के बारे में, क्योंकि उसका mass ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, तो it is harder to stop the moving vehicle. तो इसमें अभी हम लिखते हैं when the container is full, when the container is full, when the container is full, so it has greater mass. So it has greater mass, or it has greater mass and has more inertia and has greater inertia, and it has greater inertia. और क्या लिख सकते हैं? 2 marks का है ना? Thus the mass and the mass resist, so the mass resist any change in its state of rest or motion. In motion खाली लिख दें क्योंकि मूव कर रही है ना. तो mass resist any change in its state of motion. Any confusion?
No, sir.
Next, question number 7. पढ़े?
A petrol tanker has mass 3,800 kilograms when empty and holds 30 meter cube of petrol when full. The density of petrol is 740 kg per meter cube. Calculate the total mass of the tanker when full of petrol. So इसमें वही लगाएंगे mass is equal to density into volume.
mass, हाँ वही सिंपल है ये. Calculate the total mass of the tanker when the full of petrol. So density equals mass over volume.
So dens-
So the mass equals density multiplied by the volume. Density is it given? Yes, 740. Volume. Volume is 30. तो आंसर चेक करें.
so 222
740. Okay. 2
200, sorry.
triple two double
Two
zero. Is it?
G. Yes, sir.
Okay. और बस यही है. कैलकुलेट
What's
अच्छा
yeah.
नहीं. टोटल mass of the tanker. So this is
Acha
the,
plus 3,600.
this is the mass of petrol. So the total mass is mass of petrol plus mass of tanker. So the
G
total mass of petrol is 22200 plus
plus
mass of tanker.
2,800.
Mass of tanker is 2800. So add them.
25,000.
20.
25,000.
So the mass is 25,000 kg.
Hanji.
Next is the full tanker is traveling along a road when the driver observes an obstruction and applies the brake. A resultant force of 30,000 Newton acts on the tanker. Calculate the deceleration of the tanker. You have to find out the
So F
deceleration of
is
the
equal
tanker.
to acceleration is equal to F over M.
Okay, good. F equals ma F over m. Force
30,000.
is 30,000. The
दूसरा
mass,
25,000.
what's the mass?
25,000 हमने ऊपर फाइंड किया.
25, yes, 25,000. So the answer
1.2.
just 1.2.
लेकिन साथ नेगेटिव लगाएंगे क्योंकि
No, it's already mentioned it's deceleration. So the answer is just
नेगेटिव नहीं लगाना होता.
1.2. नहीं, meter
ठीक
per
है.
second square. Deceleration
Okay.
is obvious that it is negative acceleration.
ठीक है.
जी तो आवाज रही है आपको clear? हेलो. दुल्हा आपको आवाज आ रही है?
तो मुझे आपका आवाज आ रहा है.
Okay. Next is 1.4, the portion related to the force. और फोर्स से रिलेटेड हमारे पास पहला फॉर्मूला हो जाता है F equals ma.
जी.
First one. The second one is F equals delta P over delta T, and F equals mv minus mu over delta T, और m आप कॉमन भी ले सकते हैं. नेक्स्ट, impulse is basically force into the time. Impulse is also equals to the change in momentum, और mv minus mu. ये impulse और momentum तो अगले momentum वाले में आएंगे, लेकिन इससे कुछ questions आ जाते हैं. तो next is question number 1. Figure 1.1 shows a skydiver falling vertically through air. In the first part of the fall, her speed increases and her acceleration decreases. In the second part of the fall, her speed is constant On figure 1.2, sketch the speed time graph for the skydiver. On your graph, mark one point where the speed of the skydiver is increasing and uh, with an A, okay, and one point where the speed of skydiver is constant with a B. जी बच्चे, कैसे करना चाहिए ये?
सर पहले स्ट्रेट लाइन करना नहीं, पहले एक कर्व्ड अपवर्ड्स एक कर्व्ड लाइन लगाना चाहिए, कर्व्ड लाइन और फिर कांस्टेंट स्पीड.
Curved line and constant speed. और इसके अलावा कुछ? This graph is related to the terminal velocity. और कोई पॉइंट बताएं इसके अलावा?
सर पहले कर्व्ड लाइन होएगा और फिर स्ट्रेट हो जाएगा लाइन,
हाँ, और तो इसमें कुछ नहीं है ना?
और कुछ भी नहीं है इसमें.
ओके. तो इसमें हम करते हैं, we know that the weight of the skydiver is acting downward and the resistive force is acting upward. ओके, नेक्स्ट आ जाता है इसमें द नेट फोर्स का फॉर्मूला क्या होता है? नेट फोर्स इक्वल्स वेट माइनस resistive force, and when the paratrooper is falling downward, so speed increases, that increases the resistive force, and when the resistive force increases, it decreases the net force decreases, so acceleration also decrease. ये इसका टर्मिनल वेलोसिटी में ये हो रहा होता है. So gradient of speed time graph, we know that the gradient of speed time graph is the acceleration. Gradient of speed time graph is acceleration. और यहाँ पे अब्दुल्ला क्या हो रहा है? Acceleration here, acceleration is decreases. तो इसका मतलब है so gradient also decreases. So gradient also decreases. So you have to show that the gradient is, although the speed is increases, but with decreasing rate. ठीक है?
जी.
Speed increases with decreasing rate and then it becomes constant. तो फिर हम इसके बाद इसको constant show करेंगे in this way. So initially the speed is a, and this point here the speed is constant. Any
जी.
confusion? तो
नो सर.
अगर होता कांस्टेंट, तो कांस्टेंट की आप ज़रा देख लें. whenever the graph is in this way, it means gradient is constant.
जी.
And if the graph having a shape like this, मतलब आपको शेप से ही पता चल जाए कि इसमें हो क्या रहा है. here gradient increases, and if the shape of the graph is in this way, it means gradient decreases, and if the shape of the graph is in this way, like in this way, so here gradient is negative. Gradient is constant,
नेगेटिव.
also constant. And negative. Just for revision ये मैंने बताया. Next आपके पास है, explain how the graph shows that acceleration decreases as the speed increases. How the graph shows that? जी,
Sir,
how
sir,
the
it should.
graph shows that acceleration decreases as the speed increases.
Sir, the gradient decreases slowly.
हम कह सकते हैं the speed is increases with decreasing rate, है ना?
G.
यहाँ पे हम लिखते हैं the speed increases with slow rate या decreasing
Wait.
rate, hence acceleration also decreases. इसका आंसर देखेंगे पीछे आप.
Sure, sir, मैं देखता हूँ. इसका B part gradient decreases or increase in speed in same time and is less at later times. वही gradient decrease.
The speed increases with decreasing rate, hence acceleration also decreases. Also नहीं आएगा, hence acceleration decreases.
G. During the first part of the fall, there was a force acting downwards on the skydiver. One of the vertical forces acting on the skydiver is her weight. State the name of the other vertical force that acts on the skydiver. Air resistance.
So state the name of other vertical force that acts on the skydiver. One is the weight. Weight is acting downward. For example, here you have a skydiver. Its weight is acting downward. So resistive force is acting upward. तो हम लिख देते हैं air resistance. Air resistance or resistive force. Explain why the resultant vertical force eventually becomes zero. ये तो हमने बहुत दफ़ा किया हुआ, ठीक है?
इसको
तो इस
बहुत दफा करते हैं.
in downward motion the speed of the skydiver in इसको ज़रा डिटेल में चले लिख लेते हैं. In downward motion the speed of skydiver increases with time. In downward motion the speed of skydiver increases with time. Speed of skydiver increases with time. अब इसके बाद लिखते हैं the air resistance is directly proportional to the speed. The air resistance is directly proportional to the speed. Air resistance is directly proportional to the speed. Next is therefore the resistive force also increases. Therefore the resistive force also increases. Therefore the resistive force also increases and eventually become equal to weight. And eventually become equals to the weight ठीक है. So the resultant force and acceleration become zero. So resultant force and acceleration become zero. Next is at one instant, the vertical force on the skydiver is 400 Newton. At the same instant, the wind causes an additional horizontal force of 100 Newton to the right to act on the skydiver. Draw a vector diagram to determine the resultant of the vertical force and 100 Newton horizontal force. Place an arrow on all of the forces to show their direction. You have to determine the magnitude of the resultant force and its direction. जी, अब इस पे कितनी forces लग रही हैं? There are two forces acting horizontally and vertically. इसमें ये तो नहीं है ना,
जी
scale diagram तो नहीं है ना ये?
नहीं,
नहीं है, तो बस very simple. Horizontal force is 100 Newton. So let's suppose this one is the 100. And the vertical force is कितनी होगी? Vertical force is 400 Newton. So next is, और इसके अलावा क्या है? Place an arrow. So resultant force आपके पास क्या आएगी? Is the resultant force. This is the resultant force, and we use Pythagoras theorem. Hypotenuse square equals base square plus perpendicular square. So resultant force become equals to the square root of 100 square plus 400 square. आंसर चेक करें.
जी सर. Square root of 100 का square plus 400 का 412.31.
412.31. So
41.
4.31. तो इसको हम 410 लिख देते हैं.
जी
410. And next you have to find the direction. Direction के लिए theta equals tan inverse perpendicular. अब perpendicular हम कहाँ पे लेंगे? कुछ उन्होंने
100
मेंशन किया हुआ?
100
मैग्नीट्यूड
लेंगे
नहीं, एंगल कहाँ पे लेना चाहिए?
सर.
Determine the magnitude of this resultant force and its direction to vertical. Okay, and
अच्छा,
its direction to
वर्टिकल 400
vertical.
से ये. जी,
Yes, this one.
तो
So
परपेंडिकुलर 100.
100 over 400.
14 आ गया आंसर.
Answer is 14 degree.
आंसर ठीक है सर, आई कैन सी मे बी.
Okay, next is question number 2.
A train travels along a straight horizontal track at T0 and the train passes through station P at constant speed without stopping. The driver applies the brake 70 seconds before reaching station Q. The train decelerates. Figure shows the speed and back for the train until T is equal to 0.
Until t equals to 0. Okay, तो मतलब एक ट्रेन है, स्ट्रेट हॉरिजॉन्टल ट्रैक पे वो मूव कर रही है. The driver applies the brake at 70 second. Here you have, let's suppose it's not a 70 second, it's a constant speed. Is it 70?
Nice.
It's less than 70. Okay, the driver applies the brake 70
Actually,
seconds. Acha,
70 seconds before reaching.
before reaching the station Q. Decelerates. Figure 1.1 is the speed time graph for the train. T equals 0 until it stops at station Q. Next is,
First part देखते हैं.
okay, here
Distance.
the value of speed is around 77. Speed is 77. आपने ऐसे चेक कर लेना 80 माइनस 60 ओवर 10, तो उसमें फिर आपने यू
सो
हैव
2
टू
आ गया आंसर इसका।
2, तो
जी जी।
हाँ, सो दिस इज 77। 2 4 6 8 10 12 14 16 17, 17 ऐड करेंगे, सो यू विल गेट 77। एंड एट दैट पॉइंट द स्पीड इज ऑलमोस्ट, ये इसको मैं इधर नीचे लेके आता हूँ, तो वी हैव टू मूव दिस साइड, यहाँ पे आएगा। So this is also of two boxes. No. Yes. The two, 50, 52, 54, 56. Okay. You have to find the distance between the station P and Q. Distance between P and Q. P and Q क्या होगा? Distance is equals to area under,
द ग्राफ।
distance equals area under
द ग्राफ।
speed time graph. Next, so distance equals 1 by 2 sum of parallel side into the distance between these two sides. 1 by 2, अब मुझे बताएं, the parallel sides are the upper one and the lower one. The horizontal line, one is at 56, the other one is up to 1 2 4 6 126. तो यहाँ पे हम लिखते हैं 56 plus 126, 126, and the distance between them is 77. चेक करिए आंसर क्या आता है।
जी 6 plus 1 by 2 into
56 plus 126,
7007 007
7007।
27,000।
तो इसको हम बना देते हैं 7.0 10 पावर 3।
जी
तो द आंसर 0.0 10 पावर 3
जी।
meters. The mass of the train is given. Mass is given. The deceleration of the train in the 70-second before it stops at station Q. Now you have to find the
Acceleration is equal to
deceleration.
change in speed over change in time.
Acceleration is V
Change in velocity।
minus U over T.
जी
So acceleration, final speed becomes 0. Initial speed is 77, जो अभी हमने ऊपर लिखी थी, and the time is 70. So 1.1, चेक करें क्या आंसर आता है।
minus 77 over 71.20 आया।
Minus 1.1. So you just have to
क्योंकि
write
deceleration
1
given है तो 1.1।
meters. Next
जी
is calculate the resultant force on the train as it decelerates. Resultant force is ma. So F equals m is the mass. Mass is 3.8, 10 raised to power 5. Acceleration is 1.1. अब check करें आंसर।
4.2 multiplied by 10 to the power 5।
4.2, 10 raised to power
5।
5 Newton. So 4.2, 10 raised to power 5 Newton is the answer. Next is, चलें ये
आपका मर्जी है सर, लंबा नहीं है थोड़ा सा।
कर लेते हैं, पढ़े बच्चा।
Figure shows a water skier pulled horizontally across the water surface. The mass of the water skier is 60 kilograms. Gravitational field strength is this. Calculate the weight of the water skier.
हाँ जी, so the weight of the water skier is
So
W
600.
equals mg. Very good. 60 into 10, so 600 Newton. Next, the mass and weight have different units. State two difference between mass and weight. G.
Mass
Mass is
is,
vector and sorry, weight is vector.
so mass is scalar, weight is
एक तो
vector.
हो जाते हैं. Weight is a vector and mass is scalar. पॉइंट हो गया. Time. Uh, weight varies. Weight varies with position. Position of an object, while mass doesn't vary with position. Mass does not varies with height or position. I mean, mass is a constant quantity. A board pulls a water skiers to the right with a horizontal force of 50 Newton. The water skiers travel at a constant speed. Explain in terms of the forces acting why the speed is constant. इसमें भी forward force and backward force become equal, so the net force becomes zero and it starts to move with a constant velocity. तो हम लिखते हैं mm, the board the board pulls the water skier to the right, ठीक है, where force of friction, where frictional force frictional force is towards left, is
Left.
towards left. So there is no resultant force. So there is no resultant force, hence acceleration is zero. Hence acceleration
0.
becomes zero. Yeah, is zero. Next is the horizontal force acting to the right increases from 50 to 70. अब 50 to 70 उसकी फोर्स इंक्रीज हुई है.
So
तो
20 newtons लेंगे first.
हाँ, तो चेंज इन द फोर्सेस चेंज इन द फोर्स कितना होगा. सो द नेट फोर्स ऐसे लिख देते हैं. नेट फोर्स बिकम्स 70, फोर्स इज 50, तो द नेट फोर्स इज 20 न्यूटन. बिकॉज अगर पहले 50 न्यूटन लग रही थी तो फ्रिक्शनल फोर्स इज ऑल्सो 50. नाउ इफ यू इंक्रीज द फॉरवर्ड फोर्स बाय 70, so also still we have a 50 Newton force in the backward direction. So the net force is 20 Newton. Now acceleration equals force over m, Newton second law. Force is 20, mass कितना था.
ऊपर हमने भी निकाला था
60 kg. No,
जी.
600
अच्छा.
नहीं लेना, 60 kg.
ये बन गया
So 1 over 3,
0.333
0.333. So this is 0.33 meter per second square.
square.
काफी है.
हाँ जी सर.
Okay, the half is
अल्लाह हाफिज़ सर.
allowed.
See you tomorrow inshallah. Class.